Staying for the Stories is a short documentary series that highlights interesting people and the stories they tell. This week we have Terri Johnson, former Lafayette High School counselor who currently serves as the executive director for the Missouri Association of Student Councils. Join us as Terri talks about her passion for education, student council, family, and all the people she's impacted along the way.
What did I enjoy about going to Northwest? I enjoyed everything. I still get that same feeling when I go to campus. Like, I get there and I feel like I'm 18 again. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I loved college. I'd go back to college in a heartbeat. I loved it. Well, what I studied was psychology. I knew I wanted to be a teacher, but at the time, you weren't supposed to get a teaching degree in psychology. So I got a minor in American and World History. And then when I got my first job, the superintendent who interviewed me said, "Are you going to further your education?" And I was like, "I'm gonna go be a counselor." And he said, "I got a job for you." I think I would say that being a part of kids' lives had a huge impact on me. It made me want to get up and go to work every day. No day is ever the same when you're a school counselor. There's always something that happens. And so when you get to be involved with kids and see them go from somebody who's really struggling, who's having a hard time, the work that you do with them helps them understand that their life's not going to be like that forever, or they really can do things that are positive and do something good for themselves. Many kids don't say thank you at that time, which is perfectly fine. That's not why educators do what they do. But lots of kids would come back later and say, "Thank you, I would never be where I'm at today," or "I couldn't have done this without you," and that feels pretty good too.
I first met Terri. I was vice principal at Lafayette, and we worked together. Well, when I first became principal, we needed to actually make the school a better place and increase our academic scores. And that all started with the culture piece, which is what Terri provided. And the student council, they were the backbone of that. And it was through Terri. And we accomplished so much. It's hard to write down.
I used to tell people that a school counselor is the heart and soul of a building, and I really believe that. If you have a strong counseling program in a building, it affects the entire student population, it affects every teacher, because people feel comfortable, and it's about building those relationships. So MASC is the Missouri Association of Student Councils, and it is the state leadership program in the state for student councils, both middle school, junior high, and high school, public and private schools. Any school in the state can join, and we even have some like homeschool associations that also belong. So we have events all throughout the year. We have 15 events through the year that teach leadership skills to students and leadership skills to advisors. I would say that MASC has meant friendships. It's meant the ability to be with lots of people from lots of different places in the state and help them grow their leadership programs. It's influenced me personally to be a better leader, to understand how to lead not only my peers, but also students. It was a big part of our family. Like, all three of my sons went through the MASC programs and served as junior counselors. And I could never have done this job that I do without the support of my husband. And so it's opened up so many avenues for me. It's crazy how many people I feel like I know, not only in Missouri, but honestly across the country. Like, I've presented in, 25 or 30 different states. And that means I have friends in those places too, and that's pretty cool. I think that my years of service through MASC have forced me, and I mean that in a good way, to look at what people are going through and what might be happening in their lives and what we can do to help support that. I think that I bring to the table to MASC that love of mental health awareness and understanding mental health. And so I incorporate that into our events and try to put a focus on that throughout the year. And I think kids need that, but I think teachers need that too. So that has helped me see the big picture, I think, for everybody. Well, leaving MASC, I'll leave next July. So July 1st is kind of my end date. And I have been planning for that. Like, I knew that was going to happen. My goal has always been to leave the association better than I found it. And I think I'm doing that, but it's hard. It's hard to leave. I mean, this has been my life for a long time.
I think my first experience with Terri was when I was at a district convention back my freshman year, I would have to say, when we hosted districts. I know she taught me how to really show compassion towards others. I've seen her like kind of listen at times instead of, being the first to speak. And I think that I've been able to do that more and really, use some of her leadership qualities in my leadership journey.
I work as an intern for Terri. I help run the social media for MASC. I think that the legacy that Terri will leave on MASC is an organization that not only accepts everybody from anywhere, but wants to know people from anywhere and everywhere, and wants people to make connections with others and feel as if they are a part of an organization that is bigger than themselves. And I think that she has just touched so many people that her legacy will live on for forever in MASC. Terri has left an impact on people that they know that they belong in MASC and that everybody wants them to be a part of it.
I believe I first met Terri at an advisor conference. Terri's energetic. You can tell that she's very passionate about Stuco, very passionate about the work that she does, but also supporting the advisors in the work that we did as well, and just making sure that she was always available to us and was there as a support.
I would say the thing I'm going to miss most about MASC is just the energy and the excitement that happens at one of our events. I work in our house in this little corner, like my office is just a desk, and you work to get everything ready, and the planning and making sure everything's ready. And honestly, just a little secret, and I don't think this will come as any surprise to anybody, like as soon as the car is loaded and I drive out of town, I cry, because I'm like, oh, I'm so relieved that I'm finally on the road going to the event. But when you get there, it just feels so good. Well, we say there's magic. We say that, especially at Fulton, there's a magic that happens that it's hard to describe once you go back home. And personally, I think the magic has to do with acceptance. When a kid goes to our summer workshop, they feel accepted. It doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter how big or small their school is. It doesn't matter where they're coming from. They feel accepted by the people that are there. And that doesn't always happen for them in the hallways of their schools. And so that's the magic, truly.
I definitely first met her through MASC. I was in student council in high school. I went to Savannah High School and we attended camp. Her personality is just larger than life, and she just has such a warm, welcoming personality that, I don't think anybody would ever say that she doesn't have an impact on you almost immediately when you meet her. the environment that she was the leader of or was able to provide for students, both during my tenure as a student, as a counselor, and beyond that. I watched for years and still continue to watch for years things that she's doing in the community, not only locally, but through the state. And it's just unbelievable to me the impact she must have on folks, and not even just students, bringing adults together who are there to work for the common goal of developing students into future leaders. It's just really impactful to me. I think, I don't even think anybody could quantify the number of lives she's impacted, both student and adult. I'm way past student age and she's still impacting that. I run into her and it's just amazing that she knows me and knows my story and is still just that same supportive person as she was from 20 years ago.
I first met Terri at Fulton, or the summer leadership workshop. The thing that consistently stands out is the way that she empowered me to lead. And she didn't just do that with me, but the other students around. She knew what was going on. She knew how the event needed to run, and she knew the steps to take. But instead of just like holding all that power in herself, she was very intentional about giving that power to us and allowing us to make those decisions, allowing us to make the plans and actually execute the event. And so as I'm, now 5-6 years later, looking back on it, realizing that is like, those moments are what built my confidence as a leader. Those moments are what built my confidence as somebody who can say, hey, I can take the reins for a little bit, and I can make this event happen. I can make this planning happen.
Why do I think mental health is important? Well, it just is, for one thing. We as human beings can't do anything unless we have some positive mental health in our bodies, but everybody struggles. And I think that's what I want people to know, and that's the message that I believe that we try to share with kids and with adults, is that it's okay to struggle. It's okay for there to be hard times, but you got to reach out. You got to find help. I think COVID did a number on us bad, and kids struggled, adults struggled. I mean, nobody likes to be by themselves. And I'm a huge Brene Brown fan. Like, we're all wired for connection, and COVID didn't allow us to do that. So mental health and mental health issues became even a bigger platform for us to look at and to help with. My husband's support has been everything. Like, obviously, I would have never been able to live 57 miles away from my school and do the job that I did for all those years at Lafayette without his support. He got the boys ready in the morning. He took them to school. He was the pickup guy most of the time because they were involved. So family-wise, he did a lot of things here without me being here. But when I decided that, or I guess really when they asked me if I would consider applying for the position with MASC, I said to Bruce, what do you think? And he was like, do you want to do it? And I'm like, yeah. And he was like, well, then you got to do it. Like, you got to try. Probably where I draw the most happiness with is being with my family. My husband had COVID and was in the hospital for a lot of days, and we almost lost him. And so that, while I've always been very deeply in love with him, like, that was like breathtaking, like stopped me in my tracks. Bought this house and we added this big kitchen on because I wanted the boys to have a place to come home to. And I wanted them to be able to bring their families to. And so that kitchen, where I have 3 ovens, which he says I have 1 oven for every boy, is important because I draw my happiness from being with my family.